Have you ever taken a pain tolerance test? It's when things like heat or cold or electricity are used on you at a steadily increasing intensity, hopefully by a medical professional, to get an idea about how much pain you can reasonably take before calling it quits. What if I told you that gamers have been taking one of these pain tolerance tests for years? Some of us have already tapped out, and some of us are still hanging on, waiting to see what new instrument of torment we're presented with each passing year. Hey everyone, this is your Kingerd speaking, and I am of course talking about the Call of Duty series. If you can believe it, game sequels once upon a time meant that the studio behind it would either be improving on the previous game in some way, or at least just trying something new. New features, upgrading the visuals, or just giving new content were pretty much expected out of upcoming sequels. Even Assassin's Creed, a series once criticized for having too similar of games between numbers 2 and 3, still showed some effort put into each new game to build on what was there before, even if it was just a new gimmicky mechanic. Enter the Call of Duty franchise. A series so big, every new announcement tops internet traffic and every new release tops the sales charts. Why is it that each new CoD game can increase so much in file size, but still feel like it gives players less? Consider this video my pitch to you that despite the series seeing more gun camos, character skins, and grenade skins, if we take a minute to view the CoD series through the lens of principle, we won't be able to not see what it tries to take away from players with every new game. We'll begin in the late 2000s, when Call of Duty had already enjoyed several entries and was still in its "let's make the next game even better" frame of mind. A wild concept, I know. When the Till I Collapse trailer dropped for Modern Warfare 2, everyone in my school was talking about it the next day. Did you see that guy jump over that helicopter piece? Did you see those nice gentlemen politely waiting for their plane in the airport?
That escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
With that very release, the full price of Modern Warfare 2 was $60. All cosmetic items in the game were included and earnable in the base game. The campaign was a full-length experience of memorable set pieces and writing, and the only microtransactions ever introduced to the game were map packs, which had already been in the series since Call of Duty 2 way back in 2005, so pretty commonplace by that point. That didn't make people less pissed off about having to pay $15 for them though. Whew boy. Time flies, doesn't it? Map packs were still divisive at the time. I mean, after all, they split the player base into people that did buy it and didn't buy it.
All the triads and the ugly women on this side, and all the fine women on this side right now.
If you bought the base game of Modern Warfare 2 and its 2 map packs, you had access to every single thing the game had to offer. But the base game itself came with enough maps on its own that the map packs felt extra, not necessary. You didn't feel like you were getting a fraction of a product on launch day. So if you paid $60 for the Modern Warfare 2 pizza, you still felt like you got all 8 slices. And yeah, that's a fat stack for a pizza, but you get the analogy.
Cool!
Now wait, I know what you're about to do, Kingerd. You're about to blame Call of Duty for just following the normal trends of monetization in the gaming industry. There was nothing wrong with CoD games following popular trends.
I hate this channel.
No! No!
Some folks may want to rewrite history, but not us. Not here on this channel.
Not up in here!
For years, CoD games didn't follow the trend. They were the trend. The Halo series, a serious contender with CoD for a long time, copied Call of Duty staples like custom classes and kill cams in Halo 4. There's a direct correlation between CoD's mainstream popularity and horror games starting to emphasize action and co-op in their new releases, and with the mode of... Am I allowed to say that? Is Susan at HQ gonna slap me down if I say that? The
Yahtzee! Gay.
Zombies mode introduced in 2008's CoD World at War helped explode the popularity of horde-like modes in new games that came out, or at least high-intensity PvE modes. Call of Duty had the gaming industry by the huevos for years, and as businesses do, they looked at their earnings and said,
I want more.
Well, they weren't going to release more than one game a year, and map packs could only take them so far. They needed a way to increase their profits without having to substantially increase their production too.
This is how it happened. This is how the Batman died.
Fast forward to the release of Black Ops 2 in 2012. This is where Activision Blizzard started using a marketing strategy called unbundling. This is when you take a product that's usually sold as a complete unit and start selling it bit by bit. Sorta like when music went from being sold by the album to being sold by the song for more profit overall. This is different from shrinkflation, where you sell less quantity of something for the same price. But don't worry, we'll get to that one later. With Black Ops 2, for the first time in the series, a CoD game locked items other than maps behind a paywall, extra custom class slots, weapons, and cosmetics. To demonstrate how much the times have changed, the cosmetic bundles, or personalization packs, cost $1.99. And when they were purchased, the player got a camo they could equip on any gun they wanted, and usually came with at least an emblem and an aiming reticle too. Hey, that's a pretty fair price. Would be a shame if gun camos became half the price of a full game or something ridiculous like that. But why'd it matter? It was cheap, only $2, and it's not like it broke the game.
I'm still having fun.
Well, I'm glad you asked. In 2013, Paul Tassi said the same thing. However, he also questioned if this was the start of something yet to come. Maybe, one day, video games would start letting players pay for progression. Rewards for gameplay like cosmetics would become a revenue stream.
That's horrible.
It's just a couple of $2 cosmetics. Stop being paranoid. My money, my choice.
We're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, but the thing to know is that in 2013 is when Call of Duty started doubling down on unbundling. Hey fellas, I know you're used to paying $60 for the whole pizza, but that one slice over there lets you unlock everything in the game without having to pay extra, so we're gonna have to take it from you. If you want the 8th slice back, you could always pay us more money.
It's fine. It's not like I have to pay for that. I'm still having fun without it.
Thanks to the success of paid weapon cosmetics, they would return in 2013's Call of Duty Ghosts, but this time Activision Blizzard would introduce yet another type of paid cosmetic. For the price of $3.99, you could play as Captain Price or Makarov in the multiplayer. This video is an awesome time capsule for people's thoughts on these paid character skins at the time.
The Captain Price Legend Pack. What's going on here? Well, it's available on everything for $3.99, so it is a little bit more expensive than the other options that you have that came out today, but it is Captain Price, you know, one of the most influential and most badass heroes of all of Call of Duty history, so it's pretty cool.
You heard that right. $3.99 was expensive for a paid cosmetic, and people still bought it anyway because
it is Captain Price.
And so began Activision Blizzard hitting the motherlode of an idea.
A special idea.
People would pay even more money for a character skin, which is effectively just rearranging polygons on a character model, even though players couldn't actually see it at all times because it's a first-person game. The new paid skins don't even have to be new, they can just be returning characters to the series. For $60, players could no longer access all character customizations in the game. Sorry boys, that 7th slice is gonna cost extra. Well hey, maybe some cosmetics were locked behind paywalls, but at least players could still choose exactly which cosmetics they specifically wanted to earn in-game, right?
I must know the truth, Master.
Supply drops reward you with more than 1,000 items, including weapon loot, character gear, and reinforcements. These weapons not only look different and super cool, but modify the stats of their base weapon.
What's up guys, today we are doing another supply drop opening video. It was double XP week.
I can't watch anymore.
Loot boxes. The gaming industry's answer to the question, how can we give players something while actually giving them nothing?
Give him something by giving him nothing.
We don't have to go into the whole history of loot boxes and why they ended up mostly being expelled from AAA games over time. When they were added to Call of Duty, gone was the tried and true progression loop of a player following a specific path of progression for the item or weapon that they wanted. It still existed for some, like weapon camos, but not for everything in the game anymore, and you could pay real money for these on top of that. Wait a minute, does that slice say that you get to choose exactly which items you get to unlock next? Hand it over.
Yoink! That's okay. I'm still having fun.
You know, I'll give CoD some credit. At least they were still trying to justify their annual releases by making each game unique from the one before it, or trying to improve on it in some way.
Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
Until they stopped doing that. With the release of CoD World War II, players got less options for your classes, least launch maps in the series so far, glitches and bugs galore at launch, lazy map design and variety. Sure, maybe the last games were divisive, but at least they weren't half-baked. Speaking of half-baked, have you played Black Ops 4? With Black Ops 4, it was time for Activision Blizzard to dial up the pain tolerance test by 2 notches. Okay, with World War II, they learned they needed to put more effort back into their multiplayer, you know, their bread and butter. And what better way to do that than to force the players to play nothing else? Goodbye, campaign. Those weren't important anyway. Here's a couple of cutscenes to hold you over.
Lighten up. She's the real deal.
What the hell is even that?
I'm thinking bigger than battles and wars. I brought you here to change the world.
No, 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 no.
Hey, when you're done cleaning off your rose-tinted glasses, hand me that campaign slice, would ya? You entitled gamers. Not to mention, map packs before launch were announced as being only in the season pass, so either you can buy all of them or you can buy none of them. No more choosing which ones you wanted. That freedom to choose your own DLC slice looks pretty good. It'd be a real shame if somebody made you pay extra for it. Oh, and gone were the days of Call of Duty setting trends in the gaming industry. Now it was time to chase them. We hear this, what's it called? Battle Royale is all the hubbub these days? Yeah, that sounds good. Let's put that in there. Wait a minute. Modern Warfare 2019 is out, and there's a campaign again? And they scrapped loot boxes too. But cosmetics are time-gated behind battle passes and shop rotations. So pay up if you want them all, and don't be late, or they're gone forever. In case Activision Blizzard hadn't already persuaded us that Call of Duty had turned into a conveyor belt of generic products in the gaming space, the next 3 games would all share just about everything but their skin. Modern Warfare, Cold War, and Vanguard shared battle passes, most mechanics, overall gameplay feel. Seriously, they might as well have just been DLC for the same multi-year live service game. Gone were their unique identities. But who cares about that, because we have Warzone. Call of Duty's attempt to farm the Fortnite strategy of free game modes, monetized cosmetics, and progression.
I am 1,000 times better than you, and you guys cannot accept that a girl can just be good at video games.
No. She lied to you just now. She did.
Now, because Warzone is free, I'm not going to be including it in the value of a Call of Duty game because obviously you're not paying for access to that when you buy one. However, the launch of Warzone coincides with the time in the Call of Duty series when no longer does the value between games decrease on principle anymore. Now it's actual content. I mean, let's face it, there's just more money to be made when players lap up $20 Santa skins like the dog water they are than by releasing a new game that improves on the previous one. Perhaps that's why we keep telling the COD fanboys to stop buying skins, because we want to, I don't know, see the series improve maybe? Nah, we just want to boss you around. Your money, your choice. Thankfully, all these games after Black Ops 4 still contain the primary ingredients of a Call of Duty game. They were still trying, just trying less. Until... If you thought World War II was uninspired and lazy,
I have some bad news.
Never fear, Vanguard's here.
Don't be hating.
A severely watered down zombies mode, so no more full zombies experience for you. A double down on World War II's boring, lazy, uninspired, small maps. Heaps of server crashes, bugs, and glitches. And a short, forgettable campaign. All these things together just spell, we didn't care, give us
Money, please!
Okay, we zipped through a lot of games in a short time, so what better way to recap on where we are now than to check out where we've been. So far, Activision Blizzard has tested how players who purchase a full-price Call of Duty game respond to the following. Removing the ability to earn all weapon camos, removing the ability to earn all character cosmetics, not having a campaign at all, losing the ability to pursue all specific cosmetic unlocks, lazy map design, an emphasis on support for the free game mode instead of the ones people paid for, increased microtransaction prices, forcing players to buy all or no map packs, a minimum viable zombies mode. Is that everything? As long as we got one slice left, I guess.
Wait a minute, Kingerd. There's still 2 Call of Duty games left. Why do a recap now?
Right you are, and I'm combining them on purpose. 2022's Modern Warfare 2 contained several reasons for players to be excited, even with the increased price of $70. The rumors and reports that it would be a 2-year game, several classic maps being coded into the game implying they'd be playable, a full campaign experience, and a reboot of the General Shepard storyline we all know and love. There was just one problem. Every one of these things was either blatantly false or just bad.
You lie! You lie!
Turns out, it was yet another 1-year game. The classic maps that are right there in the Warzone map never got added to the paid multiplayer modes. The campaign was basically one long stealth mission, which I'll admit that's subjective, there's plenty of people that liked it. But the campaign story was a shell of the original with nowhere near the emotional weight or impact of old Modern Warfare 2. I mean, why bother with fleshed out betrayals and character choices when we have Warzone?
Terrorism is good for business.
Because MW2 turned out to be yet another 1-year game, MW3 was announced the following year, and despite some accusations that it would be a DLC pretending to be a sequel, Activision Blizzard insisted this was not the case.
Modern Warfare 3 this year is the complete package.
Oh hey, trying to play Modern Warfare 2? Here's an ad for the next game. Also, please pay extra to pre-order our Vault Edition for cosmetics on pre-existing characters and early access to our full package. Well, it didn't take long for people to realize this
complete package
shared most of MW2's coding and even PlayStation trophy assignments.
Holy Jesus.
And about those classic maps that were coded into MW2, you know, the game you already bought, well, good news.
We're shipping 16 multiplayer maps, all from the original Modern Warfare 2. These maps have been modernized with new gameplay and features.
I'll put a shameless plug for my Twitter here, but I did say before MW3's launch that buying this game just for those maps would kind of be like buying a second cheeseburger just to get the slice of cheese that was heavily implied should have been on your first burger that you already bought.
$101 for a Krabby Patty? With cheese, Mr. Squidward, with cheese.
Anywho, Modern Warfare 3's campaign is arguably worse than Black Ops 4 not having one at all. It recycled areas from Warzone, took no longer than 3 to 4 hours on average to beat, and was clearly unable to properly design a single-player experience around the open areas of Warzone.
I'm not seeing a way into the reactor from here.
Coney won't wait for us, Captain. Look for alternative entry.
Can't get to the power plant from here.
Copy. Check elsewhere, Captain. Clock's ticking.
Can't access the power plant from here.
Coney won't wait for us, Captain. Look for alternative entry.
The lack of linearity makes it feel like it's just a string of DMZ beta missions with a cutscene at the beginning and the end. I mean, really, it's like this campaign is just one big advertisement for you to go play Warzone. Oh, you like the scripted events you run into while traversing missions in old CoD games? Well here, have a level design where you can literally get in a vehicle, drive to the other side of the map, and complete the objective in under 5 minutes. Some scripted sequences do still exist in this campaign, but it is heavily dominated by their open world type of missions. Pay attention to how exactly they marketed this.
We call them open combat missions. Open combat missions are player directed. They allow the audience to play the game the way they want to play it.
Allow me to translate. We had to work up this campaign last minute, and it was a lot less effort just to put the player and some sandbox items in an area with some enemy NPCs than having to script out a full campaign. The classic, create your own fun, so we don't have to. Instead of just not having a campaign in this game at all, Modern Warfare 3 tried to persuade us that a few flipped assets and a couple of cutscenes deserved our money. Thankfully, this did not go unnoticed. You've seen it, you love it. Tell us how you feel about it, Christopher Judge.
No 8-minute speech like last year, but fun fact, my speech was actually longer than this year's Call of Duty campaign. What?
In the event anyone out there is still not sure, allow me to clear this up. Modern Warfare 3 is a DLC for Modern Warfare 2 disguised as a full game. It is shrinkflation. Less product, same price. But hey, you can slide cancel now, something I'm sure couldn't possibly have been added by changing a couple of lines of code in the already existing MW2. Activision Blizzard told us this game was worth $70.
Complete package.
They lied.
Liar!
Now I hear some defenses out there.
But the multiplayer is fun.
But if the history of Call of Duty, and hopefully this video, has proven anything, it's that every new CoD game is a new opportunity for Activision Blizzard to see how much less they can provide us with this time and still get the same amount of money out of us or more. Recycled maps and progress from MW2 being carried over into this game, while a nice gesture, should be enough evidence that it's the same game. Every time they sell a copy of Call of Duty, a loot box, a skin, whatever, every dollar they make, that's one vote that's cast from a player that says, I like what you've done with this. Do this again.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
Personally, I only have this game because I game share. I refuse to give them $70 out of principle. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of rewarding companies that are actively trying to rip me off every year. I don't think I'm better than anyone else or something stupid like that. I just want to help everyone who bought Modern Warfare 3 understand that your vote was cast for the following things. A campaign slapped together with reused assets and filler is super tight. We're cool with buying the same game from you 2 years in a row at full price. It is very cash money of you guys to gatekeep content from me that's already in the game that I already purchased. Innovation and new ideas are for squares, just hit that annual release. If you did buy the game, I'm not trying to insult you, I'm just trying to show you the way that the corporate overlords are looking at your purchase. I mean, do you think they care about videos like this? No. They care about this, and this looks good. And this game's at the top of the sales charts too, so I mean, I don't think anyone at Activision Blizzard's gonna go, hey, we made a lot of money on this. Let's put in more effort next time. Until the dollars stop flowing in, the pain tolerance test will continue to get cranked up, and the value of full-priced new Call of Duty games will continue to go down. How much longer until they start chipping away at that last slice that some people insist is all they need? Removing some aspect of the core gameplay loop of Call of Duty that everyone loves. I mean, they're already experimenting with pay-to-win stuff like guaranteed UAVs or more armor for DMZ, and judging by reactions online, people are defending that too. But don't worry, that's just the tip of the iceberg. If people keep buying it, we will see plenty more of where that came from, and I promise you it will increase in both the advantage it gives and the price it costs. I think Paul Tassi said this best in 2013 when microtransactions of less than $4 were added into the game. This is only the beginning. I think this is a 5-video streak of me being critical about stuff. I think my next video is going to be something more positive, maybe something I actually like in the gaming industry today. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on the value of a Call of Duty game today. Do you feel like it's going down? Do you feel like it's going up? As always, thanks for watching. Kingerd out.